Hello students, welcome to online computer classes. Myself Dr. Kajal Rai, and today we are going to discuss some more things about list. As I already told you about list in my last video, but here we do some more operations on list. Specifically we do list slicing. Now what is list slicing? List slicing is just like you slice a potato or a tomato, you cut it into different parts, just same is the list. You do the slicing of list according to your need. Whatever portion you need to access, you just access that part of the list. So that is list slicing. So let's start. Here is my list of students which contains 6 elements. So I'm running this list so that the system will know, Python will know that this is my list of students. Now if we want to count the list only from the last element, I want only the last element, then what would I do? I simply place students in the square brackets. I will give the index number, but it is negative index. Negative this is -1. -1 means it will count from the end of the list. Minus gives the indication to the Python that the list will be counted from the last in the reverse order. So when I run this portion, this cell, then output comes the last element of the list, which is weight, is the output of this. Now if I want the second last element, simple is that I will place -2. Now when I run it, it will give me Asha as the output. Now what if you want to start from, you want some range of elements in the list, then you can do the ranging of elements like 0:2. That means the list elements you are want to access will start from the 0th index. All the list in the Python, as I already told you, start from the index 0. So 0 is the first element, where then from 0 to second. But here second is 2 is exclusive. It will not display the element at index 2. It will only display the element starting from 0 and then 1 index. It will not output the element at index 2 because 2 is exclusive. When you doing range, this is the range you are going to print, and it will give you only the first two elements at index 0 and index 1. It will not give you the element at index 2 because the last element in the list is exclusive. Similarly, we can do from 0 to 4. When I run this, it will give me this output. Now it is not necessary that you should start a list from 0th element. You can have your choice. Suppose I want to access the element starting at index 2 and 5, then I will choose this one, students, and then in the square brackets 2:5. Then when I run this, it will give me the Tarun, Neha and Asha. Tarun is at index 2, then Neha and Asha. Now at index 5, this is weight, but as I already told you that 5 or the last number which you give in your list index, it will be exclusive. It will not be included. Now I want to access all the elements from the beginning, then I can omit the 0 also. I can access by simply ignoring it, skipping the first range and colon and then 3. That means it will start from the beginning and go to the element at index less than 3, not 3. 3 is exclusive. So it will give me output like this. As you already know, our list is, I will show you again. Our list contains Ubaid, Kajal, Tarun, Neha, Asha and Ved. And when I access this, when I do this kind of operation, it will give me the elements at index 0, 1 and 2. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Now I can start from any index and I will go to the last index. In the last also we can skip the number. So in the last it will go to the last starting from the second index. Second index is Tarun, then Neha, Asha and Ved. It will go to the last element of the list. Now I will start from the beginning of the list. I want to start that. So I skip the first element in the range, then colon, then -2. What it will do? It will go to the second last element of the list. Okay, when I run this, it will provide me this one list. It will go to the second last element from in the list. Okay, so this is the output of our list. Now I want to range second last element is also exclusive, so it will give me the before the second last element, sorry. So now also I can start from the first element and goes to the before next second last element, that is third last element only. Now I can also start the index from negative and the list will count from backwards now. So it will give me Tarun, Neha and Asha. That means second or fourth element was 1, 2, 3 and 4 is Tarun. Fourth last element is Tarun. Then it will give me fourth last element, then Neha, then Asha, then Ved. It will give me that kind of list. Now similarly, this is -1, so it will count from Tarun and Neha and Asha and it will not give the Ved as the answer. Now I can update the list also. How can I do this? Simply I can update the list by in the range of list also I can update it by providing the location, the index number which I want to update. Suppose I want to update my student list from element at index 1, 2, 3. That means at index 1 and 2 only, 3 is exclusive. So I will provide that number of elements of my list in the square brackets. Then I can easily update that list. Now if I want to see that list, my elements are updated at index 1 and index 2. Akshay and Rahul is inserted and Kajal and one more Tarun, that was deleted. So this way we can update our list also. Now suppose we have multi-dimensional list. Multi-dimensional list is just a matrix, we can say. We can define the list in this way also. Here one list is in square brackets, then comma, then another list is also in square brackets and both the list is in again square brackets. In this way we can declare multi-dimensional list also. Suppose now I want to access the element 10, then it is at 0 position, 0 row and 0 column. I will provide matrix 0, 0. This first 0 indicates the row position and the second 0 indicates the column position. When I run this, it will give me the element at that position and which is 10. Now I want to access first row and third element. Similarly, first row is 0, starts from 0 and third element is 0, 1, 2, that is 2 is the third element. So I can access that also. Now I want to know the length of this matrix which I created. Then I use the len function, simple, and it is 2. 2 is giving, what it is giving? It is giving me the row, number of rows present in the multi-dimensional list. So 2 rows are present in that list. That means it will giving the length of the row only. Suppose I want to find out the number of columns in multi-dimensional list. Then I will use the len function for counting, of course, but I will also provide the 0, which is the row number. So it will count the number of columns in that row. So it will find out 3. Now we can also copy the list. I already created student list. Now if I want to create another list which contains all the elements in the student, now we can simply create it by assignment operator. in this way. This is students copies another list, then I use the assignment operator and then the list name, and the student copy is created. Just you can see that. Now I want to remove something, suppose from the student list, student dot remove I will use, and the element which is present which I want to delete, then I use the Ubaid I want to delete, I use the remove function with the students which is the list, and then in the parenthesis I use Ubaid which is the element I want to delete. When I run this, it will delete my first element which was Ubaid. Now you deleted the element from the student, okay, students list. Now if you want to see the students copy, that element is also deleted from that. This is the major thing. It is very important to note that all the changes, any changes you do in the original list will also be reflected in the copied list, because both the lists are referencing the same elements. Okay, they are referencing the same elements. Anything you do to the original list, it will be reflected in the copied list also. And similarly, if you do any changes in the copied list, then that changes is also reflected in the original list. I will show you that in the students.copy I use the append function to append the element in the list. Okay, I append this element in the student copy list, and that element is inserted at the last. So if you see now the students list, I did the changes in the students underscore copy list, but if you see the student list, it is also inserted in the students list also. So this is very major important point. You should note it down that any changes you do in the copied list or in the original list, that same changes will be reflected in the other list also, which is copied or which is original, whenever you do the any modification or operations. Now suppose this is our integer list. Okay, this is our simple integer list. We can do the summation operation also on the integer list by using sum, which is built-in function in Python. We can do the sum like this also. Now I can also extend my list by inserting some elements and using dot extend function I am using with the list, and these elements are inserted at the end of the list. Okay, you use the append function when you want to insert a single element, and you use the extend function when you want to insert multiple elements in the list. Not only in the numeric list, you can do that in the string type of list also. In say student also I can do that I can use the extend function and insert one or more elements using the extend function. Okay, now I want to sort this list. Now this list is not so sorted, because I inserted some random elements. Now I want to sort that list, then I will use the sorted function. When I use this sorted function in the integer list, I'm saving these values in some other variable. Okay, now what is the benefit? Now the list is sorted using the sorted function. Now what is the benefit of using the another variable and using the sorted function? We can also use dot sort, which I already told you in my previous classes. Then what is the benefit of using the sorted function? The benefit is that the original list will remain unaffected. Now this is the original list and this is the sorted list, but if you do the sort function, the original list will get changed. I can show you that the original list will get changed when I run this. Sorry. Now the original list is changed. So this is the main difference. When you don't want to disturb the original list, then simply use the sorted function and save it in another variable. And when you want to do the changes in the original list also, then you can use the dot sort function simply. So that's all for today. In the next class, we will discuss tuples and dictionaries. Thank you all for today.